Today on your 5 News at noon, Donald Trump's former personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani, testifies before a Georgia grand jury, the very latest on the investigation looking into election interference. And more school districts are holding their first day of class today. We'll talk with Alma's new superintendent on some big projects happening this year. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Laura Simon. Lots of people woke up to thunder and lightning across northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Let's get right to meteorologist Zach Scott with a first look at that forecast. Zach, what can we expect the rest of the day? It's significantly cooler out right now.
Yeah, temperatures 20 degrees cooler in most cases because of the showers this morning and the thick cloud cover that's hanging around. We were talking about earlier this morning that we were going to maintain the cloudy skies. That alone is going to help hold the temperatures down. We've also had a front push through. On the back side of that, we've got a cooler air mass that's nudging in from the northeast to the southwest, so that's helping hold temperatures down some. We just don't have as hot an air mass in place, and then we've still got some patchy drizzle and showers out there. Talked to you this morning about widespread rain. The highest rain chances for the day would be early in the morning, but we would linger with isolated shower chances. We got some of those spotty showers out there. What's also not being picked up is the finer precipitation. We're talking about some patchy drizzle that's out there for Benton County, Washington County, I-40 corridor over towards Clarksville. It's light rain. We're going to maintain these light shower chances as we go through, again, the remainder of the afternoon. Again, staying cloudy. Temperature-wise, we're going to be in the 70s. We're mostly in the lower to mid-70s now, so not a lot of movement for northwest Arkansas. Temperatures a little bit more of a range for the River Valley. We're going to try to top out in the lower 80s for some, but we're looking for a lot of 70s as well. We will look for some warmer weather to come in as we wrap up the rest of the work week. We'll look at that full forecast in a couple more minutes. Laura?
All right, Zach, thank you. We are expecting an update from Fort Smith police later this afternoon after a child died after being left in a hot car. So far, no one has been arrested or charged with a crime. A spokesperson with the police department tells 5 News the investigation is still open. Here's what we know so far, though. Police were called to a home on the north side of town on Boone Avenue at 2 yesterday afternoon. This is just off of Midland Boulevard there you see on the map. Officers were there for about 3 hours. Police say someone broke one of the car windows and took the child to the hospital, but sadly, it was too late. The National Weather Service does confirm it was 100 degrees out at the time and the heat index was 104. The last child death because of a car heat stroke was in Booneville back in July of 2020. This would be the 19th pediatric vehicular heat stroke death in Arkansas since 1998. Right now, we don't know the name of the child or their age, but of course, stay with 5 News and 5newsonline.com for updates to this developing story. According to the National Safety Council, on average, 38 children under the age of 15 die each year from heat stroke after being left in a hot car. Nearly every state has experienced at least one death since 1998. In Arkansas, we had 18 child deaths in the last 24 years. And last year, 23 children died nationwide from vehicular heat stroke. Turning now to national headlines, a federal judge ordered Rudy Giuliani appear before a special grand jury investigating election fraud and interference in the 2020 presidential election. CBS's Natalie Brand has more.
Rudy Giuliani arrived at a courthouse in Atlanta, Georgia, to face a grand jury in a criminal investigation looking into election interference.
I'll talk about this until it's over. The grand juries, as I recall, a secret.
Prosecutors notified Giuliani, who served as former President Trump's personal attorney, that he's a target in the probe. Anthony Michael Christ teaches law at Georgia State University.
If I was Rudy Giuliani, I would be very worried. But the fact that the target letter was issued is a sign the district attorney is seriously considering Giuliani's conduct here in Georgia to be prosecutable.
Following the presidential election in 2020, the former New York City mayor publicly made baseless accusations of election fraud in key battleground states, including Georgia.
The recount being done in Georgia will tell us nothing because these fraudulent ballots will just be counted again.
Georgia state officials found no evidence of election fraud, but that did not stop the former president and his associates from continuing their campaign to try to upend the election results. Legal experts point to the former president's January 2021 phone call to Georgia's Secretary of State.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have.
I doubt that if a conspiracy case was brought in Georgia, that it would be brought without the former president involved, because he was a linchpin in all of this.
Christ says the grand jury's role is to determine what kind of coordination was behind the effort and who was involved. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
All right.
The Fayetteville School District will be getting an additional school resource officer. The City Council voted on a proposed budget adjustment last night, allowing them to add one school resource officer this year and 2 additional officers every year. They will do this until every Fayetteville public school has a full-time officer on site. The superintendent hopes to get an SRO at each middle school first and then at each elementary school. Thousands of kids returned to the classroom today in Alma. The school district's working on several big construction projects right now, and they have a new superintendent. This afternoon, he is sharing his plans with 5 News reporter Tiffany Lee.
It's the first day of school here in Alma, and just right inside these doors, students and teachers are kicking off the school year. I had the chance to speak with the new Alma School District superintendent, and he tells me that exciting things are coming to the schools. Alma School District has had a busy summer, from donations to construction plans to talk of the future. Alma alum Shannon Stokos and her husband, they recently donated $1 million to scholarships that will help students for years to come. To show its appreciation, the school named its Performing Arts Center after the Stokos. Superintendent Brian Duffy says that there are a number of construction projects happening across the district. While the agriculture program was added a few years ago, construction is underway for a barn, shop, and classroom. A new student activity center is also under construction and should be complete within the next year. The district is also planning to add preschool in the next few years. Duffy tells me that he's excited to be here and has many plans in his first year.
We want to look at our programs. What are popular programs? How can we strengthen those? What are other programs that we can bring in that would be beneficial to students? Whatever the next level is for Alma, and that's what we're going to find out over the next few years. That's where we want to go.
Superintendent Duffy tells me around 32,000 students were expected to start today. He says they'll have an exact number next week. In Alma, covering news where you live, Tiffany Lee, 5 News.
Other River Valley schools like Fort Smith and Van Buren will start next week. Tens of thousands of kids, though, went back to school earlier in the week. But in addition to Alma starting today, today's also the first day of classes for all grades in Mountainburg and Prairie Grove. For colleges in the area, Arkansas Tech in Russellville started up today. The University of Arkansas and UA Fort Smith will start back on Monday. The Arkansas Single Parent Scholarship Fund is now accepting applications for the spring semester. Eligible single parents who live in the state can get up to $1,200 in grants. This will help pay for part-time or full-time college education as well as technical programs. Applications are due by October 15th. You can find a link to the application and read over the eligibility requirements for this on our website, 5newsonline.com. COVID is hitting the Marshall Islands hard right now, and groups here in Northwest Arkansas are working to help slow the spread. The country's borders were locked down until a week ago to keep the virus out. Since then, the islands are reporting more than 3,000 cases and 5 deaths. You're probably aware that Northwest Arkansas has a large Marshallese population, and the Consulate General for the islands in Springdale is joining area groups. They're asking for donations of PPE, hand sanitizer, and other health items. They plan on sending those out to the islands to help get the virus under control there. Donations can be dropped off at the Consulate General of the Republic of the Marshall Islands office in downtown Springdale, or they can be taken to the Arkansas Coalition of the Marshallese. COVID-19 infection levels continue fluctuating here in Arkansas. More than 1,000 people have tested positive in the last day, but you'll notice here on the board our active cases fell by 55, so we are now under 11,000 yet again. 332 people are in hospitals with the virus across the state, while another 8 people sadly have died from COVID-related complications. You can see there our total number of deaths now stands at 11,830. Regulators in the United Kingdom have given the green light for an updated COVID-19 booster for adults. The vaccine made by Moderna will target both the original coronavirus that first circulated in 2020 and the Omicron BA.1 variant first detected in November. Regulators say the adult booster dose meets safety, quality, and effectiveness standards. Side effects are the same as the original Moderna booster. They are typically mild and go away on their own. No serious safety concerns have been identified. With millions of kids back in the classroom nationwide, the CDC is recommending that families get their flu shots early this year. CVS, in fact, already has several flu vaccine options for you. They can also get you up to date on immunizations for COVID, shingles, and pneumonia. You can schedule an appointment online or by using the CVS app. Walk-ins are accepted as well. Kids are heading back to school, but in many states, something is missing right now. Teachers. Coming up, what's causing a shortage of educators and how some districts are getting creative to bring them back.
And again, we've seen another nice round of some wet weather push through, the majority of it earlier this morning. We've got some lingering showers out there now. We're going to talk about some more rainfall looking good in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you when coming up.